Listeners, I welcome you all in our today's offline video lecture of class 11th information practices, and the today's topic is MS-DOS, that is Microsoft Disk Operating System. This DOS operating system was developed by Microsoft, that is why it is known as Microsoft Disk Operating System or simply MS-DOS. This topic is presented to you by Ankur Pandita, teacher BHSS DRAGMULLA. Now, first, what is DOS? DOS stands for Disk Operating System. It is used for abstraction and management of secondary storage devices of the computers and the information stored there. So, DOS is an operating system. It stands for Disk Operating System. It is used for abstraction and management of secondary storage devices of the computers. All the secondary storage devices of the computers are managed by this operating system, that is disk operating system. History of MS-DOS. In early days of computers, there was no disk drives. Instead, magnetic tapes, punched cards, etc. were used. After creation of hard disks and floppy disks, the need of software for managing rapid access to block storage of sequential and other data becomes inevitable. So DOS of development. In early days of computer, there were no hard disk drives. Instead, magnetic tapes were used and punch cards were used. When hard disk was created, floppy, the need was felt of the software which managed rapid access to block storage of sequential and other data. So DOS was developed for this purpose. Microsoft Disk Operating System features include it is a non-graphical command line operating system. It does not have graphics. It is command line operating. We simply had to write in commands in this DOS prompt. We do not have any graphical interface. We cannot use mouse or it does not support any icons, folders or anything. First introduced in August 1981. MS-DOS was first introduced in August 1981. It is a single user operating system for Microsoft for the PCs. MS-DOS was used for single user operating system from Microsoft for the PCs. Still, the underlying control program for Windows 3.1, 98/98, Windows NT built in their form. The underlying control programs for MS-DOS operating MS version 3.1, Windows 95, 98, Windows NT was built in the version of DOS to support existing DOS application. Unlike Microsoft Windows, which most users are familiar today, MS-DOS requires the user to type commands instead of using the mouse. Today, there is a graphical user interface operating system and we use mouse to press icons and other use commands, but in MS-DOS user required to type commands instead of using a mouse. So a user who have to use computers had to know the commands which by way of which he can run programs in computers. Requirement requires 2 floppy disk drives and requires minimum 256 kbs of RAM. MS-DOS requires very less space and so it requires only 256 kbs of RAM. Offers limited multitasking of existing MS-DOS programs. It does not offer much multitasking, that is limited multitasking. It does not allow windows overlapping. In MS-DOS we can't overlap windows. We can use single window at a time. It has a poor response from critics. Critics use that MS-DOS has a poor response as more users cannot use. The only computer programs who had knowledge of commands can use or run the programs in MS-DOS operating system. We have a directory structure in DOS. DOS files are organized in hierarchical or inverted tree structure. The general analogy is with a file cabinet having a number of drawers, which in turn may contain folders that may contain information. It has a hierarchical or inverted tree-like structure. Analogy is that suppose you have a file cabinet having a number of drawers, which in turn have folders have files. The file cabinet in DOS is the directory. The drawer is individual directory. The folders are subdirectory, and the information contained in the files are termed as files. So there is a hierarchical setup in the file structure of DOS. First you have a directory, then you have a folders in subdirectories, then you have subdirectories, and then you had these files in those subdirectories. There are various commands. There were various commands for program to use various programs in DOS. .cd command was used to switch directories. .dir allows us to see the available files. .copy allows us to copy one or more files. .del command used to delete files. .edit used to view, create, or modify their computer files. .move allows us to move files or directories from one folder to another. .ren used to rename files. .deltree short for delete tree. Delete deltree is a command used to delete files and directories permanently from the computer. .cl is a command that allows to use to clear the complete contents of the screen. .format is used to erase all the information of a computer. And with the advent of those graphical user interfaces, we need not remember those commands we have. We can, when we press this, we have the usual graphical interface. We use mouse for all this purpose instead of typing commands in our graphical user interface. Thank you, students. This is it for the today's topic of MS-DOS, that is disk operating system developed by Microsoft. Students, stay at home, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.